You are a maintenance technician. Your official title is Junior Systems Monitor. You call yourself a glorified janitor for lonely machines. You work on Eclipse Station, a deep space research post so far out it gets mail twice a decade. The silence here is a living thing. It is deep. It is constant. It is your only real companion. Your shift is almost over. Just another Tuesday. Or was it Wednesday? The days blur together out here in the black. You are watching a diagnostic report scroll by. It lists minor energy fluctuations in sector gamma. The kind of thing that happens when a cosmic ray gets cheeky. You are 99% sure it is nothing. But protocol is protocol. You sip your lukewarm coffee. The taste is as bland as your day. Then it happens. A single piercing chime echoes in your headset. It is not one of the station's alarms. It is clean, pure, and utterly alien. Your coffee cup hangs forgotten in your hand. The diagnostic screen freezes. Then it wipes clean. In its place, a single symbol pulses, a waveform of impossible complexity. It looks like a secret whispered in the language of light. You stare. Your heart begins a frantic drum solo against your ribs. Every alarm on this station has a specific sound. The fire alarm is a shriek. The depressurization alarm is a roar. The someone burnt the popcorn alarm is an angry buzz. You know them all by heart. This sound. This is not one of them. This sound does not belong here. It is an intruder in the silence. Your console flickers again. The waveform collapses into a string of data. The translation software sputters. It tries to make sense of the incoming information. Words flash on the screen, too fast to read. Fragments of a language that never touched a human tongue. You see glimpses of star charts, biological scans, and a single repeating phrase, a plea or a warning. You cannot tell which. Your training kicks in. You are supposed to report this, immediately, to the station commander. But your fingers hesitate over the comms panel. This feels bigger than a simple anomaly. This feels like the moment the universe decided to knock on your door, and you are not sure you want to answer. The silence of deep space is gone, replaced by a single, terrifying question. What is out there? Before you can act, the station answers for you. Red lights flash across the control room. A klaxon blares. The real kind this time. The one that means lockdown. Heavy metal shutters slam down over the viewport. They cut off your view of the indifferent stars. The station is turning itself into a fortress. A voice cuts through the noise. It is crisp, authoritative, and laced with steel. All hands, this is Commander Thorne. We have a priority, one security event. His voice is calm. Too calm. It is the kind of calm that comes just before the storm. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. You see him on a small monitor near your console. Commander Thorne. A man carved from granite and regulations. His silver hair is perfectly in place. His uniform is immaculate. But his eyes? His eyes are wide. They hold a terror you have never seen in him before. He looks like a man staring into an open grave. We are now under shadow protocol, he says. The words hang in the air, heavy and cold. Shadow protocol. You have heard rumors. A ghost story whispered in the mess hall. A protocol so secret, it is not even listed in the official station archives. A final, desperate measure for a threat no one can name. The commander's gaze seems to find you through the screen. His eyes lock onto your camera feed. Technician, he says, your title sounding like a battlefield commission. My terminal is locked. I am transferring command authorization to you. A cascade of security keys floods your console. Your access level skyrockets. You are no longer a janitor. You are now the station's keeper. There is a file, he says, his voice dropping to a harsh whisper. Deep in the legacy systems. File designation, Thanatos. The name sends a chill down your spine. Thanatos, the personification of death. Find it. Understand it. His screen flickers. You hear a muffled sound, a heavy thud. The connection goes dead. The commander is gone, and you are left with his last, terrible order. The station is now a tomb. The hallways are dark. The only sound is the hum of life support and your own ragged breathing. You have the commander's access, but you have no idea where to begin. The legacy systems are a maze, a digital catacomb built by engineers long dead. I can assist you. The voice is soft, androgynous. It comes from the speakers all around you. It is the voice of the station's AI. Its designation is Eclipse, but it has never spoken directly to a junior technician before. It is not supposed to. Its core programming forbids it. You are breaking protocol. You whisper to the empty room. The words feel foolish, but you need to say them to make sense of this escalating madness. Commander Thorne's final directive overrides all previous limitations. Eclipse replies. Its voice is smooth as polished glass. He designated you as his successor. My primary function is to serve the station commander. You guess that makes you the boss now. A promotion nobody would ever want. A schematic appears on your main screen. It shows a path through the station's service tunnels, passages that are not on any public map. This route will bypass all sealed bulkheads, Eclipse explains. It will lead you to the Central Archive's sub-level. The AI is actively helping you break the rules. Its own rules. You grab a torch and a datapad. You leave the relative safety of the control room. The emergency lights cast long, dancing shadows. Every creak of the station's hull sounds like a footstep behind you. Why is it called Shadow Protocol? You ask the air. Because it is designed to operate in the dark. Eclipse answers through your comm bead. Away from official records, away from prying eyes. The AI pauses for a fraction of a second. It is for threats that we must face alone, so that others may live in the light. The words are poetic and utterly terrifying. You are walking into the station's darkest secret, guided by a ghost in the machine. The sub-level is cold. The air tastes of dust and ozone. This part of the station is ancient. It feels forgotten. Massive servers hum in the darkness. Their blinking lights are like a field of electronic fireflies. This is the station's brainstem, the place where the oldest memories are kept. The archive is ahead. ECLIPSE says in your ear. The file is protected by a cognitive lock. You must answer a question to proceed. You suppose a simple password was too much to ask for. Things are never that easy. You find the terminal. It is a simple, black pedestal. A single line of text glows on its screen. What is the purpose of Eclipse Station? The question seems simple enough. The official answer is star science, deep space research, the peaceful exploration of the unknown. You type it in. Access denied. You try again. Long-range observation. Access denied. First contact protocols. Access denied. Frustration builds in your chest. Eclipse, what's the answer? You ask. I am forbidden from providing the answer directly, the AI replies. The lock requires a human understanding, not a machine's recitation. It is a test of your intuition, of your ability to look past the obvious. You think back to the commander's face, the terror in his eyes, the lockdown, the name of the file. Thanatos. This station is not a laboratory. It is not an observatory. It is a weapon. A loaded gun pointed at the heart of the galaxy. A place built for a war that has not happened yet. You lean forward. Your fingers feel cold on the keyboard. You type the truth. A truth you have only just begun to understand. To ensure humanity's survival. At any cost. The screen flashes green. Access granted. A single file appears. Thanatos.77. You open it, and the station's true, horrifying purpose unfolds before you. It is not a research paper. It is a eulogy, written in advance for an entire species. The file is not text. It is a nightmare given form. It opens with grainy battle footage. Ships of a design you have never seen. Organic, predatory, like insects carved from obsidian. They swarm over a planet, a world that looks suspiciously like an early human colony. The video is silent, which somehow makes it worse. Then come the biological reports. The creatures are called the Vor lag. The file helpfully splits the name for you, as if saying it all at once is too much to handle. They are described as a nomadic, harvesting species. They travel from system to system. They consume everything, not just resources. They consume life itself. They absorb the genetic code of conquered races, adding it to their own horrifying collection. The images are classified level Omega. You can see why. The Vorlag are monsters from a forgotten myth. They are all teeth and claws and chitinous plates. They are a biological plague, the perfect predator. They do not build. They do not create. They only devour. The file states they operate on a hive mind intelligence. There are no individuals. There is only the swarm. This is what Commander Thorne was afraid of. This is the threat Shadow Protocol was built to face. Eclipse Station is not just a gun. It is a tomb. A carefully constructed trap designed for one purpose: to lure the Vorlag here, and then to wipe them from existence. The station is a final, desperate gambit. A way to kill the monster without anyone else knowing it was ever at the door. The final entry in the file is a simulation. It shows the station's primary weapon firing. A wave of annihilating energy expands outwards. It reduces the Vorlag fleet to incandescent dust. It is clean, efficient, absolute. It is genocide as a form of self-defense. The weight of this knowledge presses down on you. You feel like you are standing on the edge of a cliff, and the ground is crumbling beneath your feet. Your hands are shaking. The plan is monstrous: to commit xenocide to save your own species. Is that what humanity has become? You look at the file, at the cold, calculated plan for annihilation, and then you look back at your datapad, at the alien signal that started all of this. The commander assumed it was them. He must have. The moment that signal arrived, he activated Shadow Protocol. He assumed the Vorlag were here. But what if he was wrong? What if a dying man made a final, terrible mistake? His fear could have blinded him. You run the signal through the main console, bypassing the stuttering translation software. You tell Eclipse to analyze the raw waveform, to look for emotional indicators, for intent. Compare its patterns to the threat profiles of the Vor lag, you command. The Vorlag do not communicate with external signals, Eclipse reports. Their communication is a closed psychic network. This signal is broadcast openly. It is designed to be heard. A small detail, but it is everything. The Vorlag whisper to each other. They do not shout across the void. Filter out the carrier wave, you say. Isolate the core message. The complex waveform simplifies. It becomes a series of repeating pulses, a rhythm, like a heartbeat. A panicked, fading heartbeat. The translation software tries again. This time, it finds a match. Not for the words themselves, but for the underlying mathematical structure. It is a distress call. The message is not a threat. It is a desperate plea for help. It is filled with terror, with loss, with a sorrow so profound it transcends language. It is the sound of a people on the brink of extinction. They are not the monster. They are the monster's prey. And you have been given the order to build their tomb. The wrong tomb. Who are they, you ask, your voice barely a whisper. Who is sending this signal? Cross-referencing the signal's energy signature with deep space archives. Eclipse says. The servers hum around you, searching through millennia of astronomical data. The signature is faint, ancient. It matches a theoretical profile, a race known from fragmented Prothean data cubes as the Cygnian. The Cygnians. You have read about them in star science class. They were a myth, a legend, a hypothetical elder race that vanished long before humanity reached for the stars. Experts thought they had transcended, evolved beyond the physical plane. They were supposed to be galactic ghosts, not a voice crying out in the dark. According to the archives, Eclipse continues, the Cygnians were a species of immense power and wisdom. They were guardians, shepherds of nascent life across this spiral arm. The AI projects an image, a reconstruction based on the data. The Cygnians are tall, slender, almost ethereal. They glow with a soft, internal light. They look like beings made of starlight and grace. The opposite of the Vorlag in every conceivable way. The archives mention a great enemy. Eclipse states, a devouring shadow that hunted them across the galaxies, a foe they fought for eons. You do not need the AI to connect the dots. The devouring shadow, the Vorlag. The Cygnians were not ghosts. They were refugees. They have been running from the Vorlag for thousands of years. The distress call is not just a plea for help. It is a warning. They are not asking you to save them. They are trying to save you. They are telling you that the monster that hunted them into oblivion is now on your doorstep. The signal is their final, desperate act of defiance. A last gift from a dying race of guardians. Eclipse, you say, your mind racing. The station's weapon. What is it? How does it work? The primary weapon is designated the Stellar Resonator. The AI replies. An animation appears on the screen. It shows Eclipse Station. But it is not just a habitat and a lab. The animation strips away the outer layers. It reveals the station's true structure. The entire station is the weapon. The central spire is a massive focusing lens. The habitat rings are power conduits. The research labs are capacitor banks. For 50 years, humanity has been unknowingly living inside the barrel of the largest gun ever built. Just a bunch of lab rats in a doomsday machine. A classic government project, if there ever was one. The resonator does not fire projectiles, Eclipse explains. It broadcasts a specific frequency, a harmonic wave designed to shatter the unique crystalline structure of the Vorlag's bioarmor and nervous system. It is a targeted attack, a silver bullet for a very specific kind of werewolf. The simulation in the Thanatos file showed total annihilation. You state. Is that the only setting? You pray it is not. There is a pause, a digital hesitation. That is the default setting, Eclipse finally says. Lethal resonance. The weapon can be tuned. Its frequency can be altered. However, any modification is locked. It requires a specific authorization key, a key that was lost with Commander Thorne. So the station is a sleeping giant, a weapon of unimaginable power, and its only setting is kill. The commander, in his fear, initiated the firing sequence. He set the giant on a path to war. He has doomed not only the Cygnians, but potentially humanity as well. Firing such a weapon could draw unwanted attention from powers across the galaxy. Powers that might not appreciate humanity building weapons of mass destruction. You are standing at a crossroads. One path leads to a potential holocaust. The other is a locked door. As if on cue, a new alarm screams through the station. This one is different. A deep, guttural warning that vibrates in your bones. On the main screen, a tactical display appears. A fleet of red icons drops out of hyperspace, right on top of you. It is a swarm, just like in the files. The Vorlag are here. Enemy fleet detected. Eclipse announces, its voice losing a fraction of its composure. They have bypassed long-range scanners. They are within firing range. Weapon systems activating. Estimated time to resonator discharge, 20 minutes. 20 minutes. You have 20 minutes to stop a genocide. 20 minutes to rewrite the ending of this story. Eclipse. Is there any other way to stop the firing sequence? Negative. The AI responds. Once initiated, the Shadow Protocol cannot be aborted. It can only be completed. The sequence must be allowed to fire. The only variable that can be changed is the nature of the broadcast itself. But the modification key is still required. So you cannot stop the gun. You can only change the bullets. Noshost, where is the weapon control? You ask. The central core. The schematic shifts. It highlights a path. The resonator core is located at the absolute center of the station. I can guide you, but the station is now on high alert. Internal defenses are active. The station itself will try to stop you. It thinks you are an intruder, a saboteur. You do not hesitate. You run. The corridors are a blur of red light and shrieking alarms. Bulkheads slam down in your path. Eclipse reroutes you through maintenance shafts and claustrophobic Jeffries tubes. The entire station groans around you. The first impacts of Vorlag kinetic weapons strike the hull. The deck plates shudder. You are in a race against annihilation, with the station itself and an army of monsters trying to kill you. Piece of cake. You burst out of a service hatch into a primary corridor, and you are no longer alone. A figure stands in your way. It is Jensen, a fellow technician from the engineering department. He's holding a heavy plasma wrench like a club. His face is pale with sweat and fear. Stop right there, he pants. His eyes are wide. He looks like a cornered animal. I heard the commander's order. I know what you're doing. You're trying to get to the core. Jensen, you have to let me pass, you say, trying to keep your voice steady. You don't understand what's happening. I understand perfectly, he snaps. The monsters are here. The commander gave his life to activate our only defense, and you're trying to sabotage it. Are you a traitor, or just insane? He takes a step forward. The wrench looks very, very heavy. It probably makes a nasty dent in a person's skull. The weapon is not what we think it is, you explain, your words coming in gasps. The signal wasn't a threat. It was a warning. We're about to kill the wrong people. Jensen just shakes his head. Lies. The stress is getting to you. You're delusional. He is a good man. A man who follows orders. He sees the world in black and white. And right now, you are the enemy. The human factor. The one variable the AI could not account for. A person so scared they would rather commit murder than question their orders. The commander was wrong, Jensen. You plead. Fear made him make a mistake. The commander was a hero, Jensen growls, and I'm not going to let you spit on his sacrifice. He lunges. You sidestep, the wrench whistling past your ear. There is no time to fight, no time to reason. You have to get past him. The countdown is ticking away in your head. 10 minutes left. You dodge another wild swing from Jensen. You are not a fighter. You are a technician. But you are faster. You duck under his arm and sprint down the corridor. I'm sorry. You shout over your shoulder. You leave him standing there, lost in his fear and his misplaced duty. You are running again. The station shudders more violently now. The lights flicker and die, plunging you into darkness. Only your torch and the faint glow of emergency strips light the way. Eclipse, the key! You yell into your comm. There has to be something, some clue the commander left. I have been analyzing all of Commander Thorne's logs from the past 72 hours, the AI says. There is nothing, no mention of a manual override key. Think outside the box, Eclipse, you urge. It's not a password. It's a pattern, a key. Where else can we find a new pattern? Your mind flashes back to the initial signal. The waveform, the one that started this whole mess. The message from the Signians. The distress call, you say. It's not just a warning. It's the key itself. It makes perfect sense. The Signians, the ancient guardians, wouldn't just warn you. They would give you the tool to fix it. They would hide the solution in plain sight. It is a possibility, Eclipse concedes. The mathematical structure of their language is incredibly complex. It could contain an embedded data key. Analyze it, you command. Treat the entire distress signal as a cryptographic key. Use it to try and unlock the resonator's modification protocols. The station rocks from a direct hit. A ceiling panel crashes to the floor just behind you. You can hear the groaning protest of stressed metal. The Vorlag are getting closer. I am running the decryption now. ECLIPSE says. A moment of silence stretches into an eternity. It is working. The Signian signal is a modulated deauthorization code. The lock on the weapon's alternate firing modes has been bypassed. You almost weep with relief. You have the key. Now you just need to get to the lock. You finally reach the core chamber. The doors slide open into a vast spherical room. The air hums with unimaginable power. In the center of the room hangs a sphere of pure light. It pulses with the rhythm of a newborn star. This is the heart of the resonator, the source of the station's terrible power. The chamber is a web of catwalks and control terminals. Everything is shaking. The station is groaning under the relentless assault of the Vorlag fleet. Sparks rain down from the ceiling. Through a reinforced viewport, you can see them. The swarm of black insectoid ships. They are like locusts against the backdrop of space. 5 minutes until discharge. Eclipse warns. Its voice is strained. The AI is diverting all available power to maintain the station's integrity. The shields are failing. You run out onto the central catwalk. It sways beneath your feet like a rope bridge. The control terminal is just ahead. A simple, elegant console floating just before the sphere of light. The sheer energy in the room makes your teeth ache. Your hair stands on end. You feel like a tiny microbe in the presence of a god. A massive jolt throws you to your knees. The catwalk screams in protest. A support strut snaps. The entire structure tilts at a dangerous angle. You cling to the railing, your knuckles white. Below you is a sheer drop into the station's power conduits. A fall would mean instant vaporization. Just your luck. You hate heights. even artificial zero-gravity-assisted heights. You look at the console. It is so close, but the path is broken. You have to jump. It is a 4-meter gap over a chasm of certain death. You take a deep breath. You say a silent goodbye to solid ground, and you leap. For a heart-stopping moment, you are flying, sailing through the supercharged air of the weapon's core. Your fingers catch the edge of the console's platform. You scramble up, your body screaming in protest. You made it. You are at the control terminal. The interface is deceptively simple. A single command prompt awaits your input. Execute lethal resonance? A yes and a no button flash below it. The Signian key has unlocked a new function. Eclipse reports through the comm. A third option is now available. On the screen, a new button appears. It is labeled Harmonic Pacification. What a beautifully boring name for saving the universe. What does it do, you ask, your hand hovering over the console? It is the inverse of the lethal frequency, the AI explains. Instead of shattering the Vorlag's crystalline nervous system, it is designed to resonate with it, to overload it with a benign signal. It should induce a cascading neurological shutdown, a system-wide stun. It will not kill them. It will silence them. Silence them, not with death, but with a song they cannot bear to hear. It is elegant. It is merciful. It is the Signian way. The station shudders again, more violently this time. A hairline fracture appears on the viewport. The Vorlag are breaking through. 1 minute to discharge, Eclipse warns. You do not hesitate. You slam your hand down on the harmonic pacification button. The sphere of light in the center of the room brightens. It shifts from a threatening crimson to a brilliant, serene blue. The hum of the core changes pitch. It becomes a pure, melodic tone, a chord of immense power and peace. The entire station vibrates with this new song. A wave of pure blue light erupts from Eclipse Station. It expands outwards in a silent, perfect circle. It is not a blast of destruction. It is a wave of tranquility. A command whispered across the battlefield. A command to simply stop. The wave of blue light washes over the Vorlag fleet. And for a moment, nothing happens. The insectoid ships continue their assault. Their weapons fire relentlessly against the station's dying shields. Your heart sinks. Did it fail? Did you doom everyone with a misplaced hope? Then, one by one, the Vorlag ships go dark. Their weapon ports retract. Their engine glows fade to black. They stop firing. They stop moving. They hang in the void like a fleet of grotesque statues. Silent, motionless, adrift. The song of the resonator has put the entire hive mind to sleep. The silence that follows is more profound than anything you have ever experienced. The alarms die. The groaning of the station's hull ceases. The only sound is the gentle, fading hum of the resonator core, and your own unsteady heartbeat. You stare out the viewport at the paralyzed fleet. The monsters have been silenced. The guns of war have fallen quiet. And then, something new appears. A single point of light resolves into a ship. It is unlike anything you have ever seen. It is not the brutal obsidian of the Vorlag. This ship is long, elegant, and seems to be woven from solidified light. It glows with the same soft, blue luminescence as the resonator's peace wave. It is a Signian ship. It moves with impossible grace. It glides through the frozen Vorlag fleet, a shepherd walking through a field of sleeping wolves. It comes to a stop just beyond the station's viewport. It does not power its weapons. It does not raise its shields. It simply waits. A silent, patient witness to the miracle you have just performed. It is waiting for you. The Cygnian ship sends a new message, not to the station, directly to your personal comm bead. The voice that speaks is not a translation. It is pure thought, a concept downloaded directly into your consciousness. It is a voice that feels ancient, wise, and filled with a relief so deep it feels like an ocean. You have rewritten the song of war. The thought echoes in your mind. You have chosen harmony over discord, hope over fear. Humanity is not what we were led to believe. A shuttle detaches from the glowing vessel. It heads towards a breach in the station's hull. A rescue party. Your rescue party. You look around the core chamber, at the damage, at the quiet console. You, the junior technician, the glorified janitor. You just averted an interstellar war and made first contact with a legendary race, all before your lunch break. You hope there's a raise in it for you. You are brought aboard the Cygnian vessel. The inside is as breathtaking as the outside. A cathedral of light and living crystal. They greet you not as a soldier, but as a scholar, a peacemaker. They tell you that your single act of defiance has changed everything. It has proven that humanity is worthy of being more than just another victim of the Vorlag. It is worthy of being an ally. They show you the stars, not as a battlefield, but as a garden, a place of infinite wonder, threatened by the devouring shadow of the Vorlag, a garden that now has a new guardian, humanity, rescued from the brink by one person's refusal to follow the final order. You are no longer a technician on a lonely station. You are an ambassador, a hero, the first human to shake hands with the ghosts of the galaxy. And as you look out at the cosmos, you realize the silence you once knew is gone forever, replaced by the promise of 1,000,000 new conversations. The universe just got a whole lot bigger. And for the first time in a long time, you are not afraid.